Hello everyone. We've been having a little bit of a debate on the subject of position trading. I suppose you could call it trend trading as well. And I did touch in the past on an example of this, but I've been asked to do another video on the subject. So I'm looking at gold here, and I'm just going to explain a technique where you can use the high and low trades for position trading. So my logic here is, if we are, I'm going to show you an example using the H4 time frame to enter, and then I'm just showing you how that kind of expands to the weekly and the monthly time frame. So if we have a look at the weekly here, okay, and imagine that we took the high and low of the week on the H4 and we just held them, okay. So if we just kind of look at this section here, okay, so if we took the high and low of all of these weeks and held them, and let's say we traded up to here, we can see that the high of these weeks would still be surviving, okay, and then up here and here, okay. So in other words, the high and low are the positions of the week that are most likely to survive long term. And then, you know, obviously there's these sections in between where high and lows would have survived for a period of time, but not all the way up to here, okay. So my method kind of the problem when you're position trading is losing all of these positions in here if you hold indefinitely. So I kind of have a little technique where you're still getting profits in here as well, but you're also getting some of these longer term profits as well. So in other words, we're trying to secure the high and the low of the week first. So if we go to H4, I'll show you how that kind of pans out. So let's where have I gone? I want to find kind of start of a month to do it from, really. Okay, so here's start of December. So we start trading here, okay, and we're going to take breakout shorts from the high of the week and breakouts long from the low of the week. So this would be our first trade short here with our stop over the high, and then we can see price closes up and breaks out here with our stop below the low. Okay, so at this point we're hedged and we've secured the high and low of the week. And then price comes down, and you can see here we do get our low stopped out, and then there's no entry from the low. So at the end of this week we're just holding the high of this week, okay. And then you go on to the next week and you repeat the process. So you take a low, a short from the high here, and here's a close up and a breakout. So there's our low, and then again our low gets stopped out, and then we get a long breakout here, okay. So at the end of week 2 we're holding this high, and this low, okay. And then we move on until the next week, and we repeat the process. And essentially at the end of this month, let's say this is the end of the monthly bar here, okay. At the end of this month we're left holding these two highs, and you would be holding this short, this low, sorry, and that's it, okay. So price is here. At the end of the month we're holding two highs and one low. Now these are highs of the week, if we want to go longer term, now what we do is we close out any trades in that month that are not also the high of the month. So this trade here would be closed out for profit, okay, and that would cover some of our losses that we achieved in that month, okay. And then we go on to trade the next month in the same manner. Okay, and then at the end of this month we'd be holding this low. This high would have stopped out, and this low, and this low from this week, and the low from this week. Okay, so you can see at the end of the second month we'd close out these three surviving longs, and actually you would have this high here which is about break even. Okay, so we'd keep the high and low of the month, and we'd close out any profit trades that were highs or lows of the week. If I just zoom out a little bit, I can show you. Right, where did we start? December, and we've traded up until the end of January. Oh great, that doesn't fit on. Okay, it's just off the screen there. So at the end of January we've closed out those profit trades, and we'd still be holding this low of December, and we'd still be holding this low of January. Okay, and then I'm just going to move it on one more. No, it won't move on more. Okay, that's done it. So we have these we have this low of December here that we're holding, and this low of January. Have I got that right? No, it was the low of November back there, and December, and then we'd repeat the process in January. And so just go through that. You can see this low this week, and the low of this week, and the low of this week would be surviving. So let's presume we've that is the end of the month there. So at the end of that month again, you'd close out the weekly lows that were in profit, and you'd hold the monthly low or high. Okay, so you can see we're taking profit along the way by stacking our weeklies, and then the ones that are also highs and lows of the monthlies, we're stacking for a much longer term gain. So if I just kind of go to monthly, so we would be holding this low, and this low of the month. Okay, now you can see sort of long term these will stack up to be your really nice big wins, okay, here, and then in between you're taking off smaller and medium sized wins from the highs and lows of the week to cover your costs whilst you're building this position. What I like about this is, you are position trading, but you've got something going on to deal with your drawdown in between those surviving monthly highs and lows. And obviously you don't have to do it on these time frames. You can do the high and low of the day on the H1 time frame, hold those till the end of the week, close the daily high lows holding on to the high and low of the week, and then do that to the end of the month. Okay, so then at the end of the month you'd hold the monthly, closing out the daily highs and lows that weren't high and low of the month. I hope that makes sense. Again, it's just like another way that you can use the high-low trades to trade it in many different ways. And if you're more of a trend trader, this is great. the best thing about it is you're not predetermining what the trend's going to be. You're just taking the high lows, and obviously if a trend occurs, then you'll have surviving positions at those extremes. And also obviously this will perform much better when there is a strong trend in place. So there's a good there's a good argument for perhaps doing some analysis on what pairs are likely to trend this year, and having like a mix of those, and you're likely to at least catch one pair that trends very well. If you're lucky, you'll get 2 or 3 that put in decent trends, and then you can really have very big wins. So this is kind of more of a long-term approach, but if that suits you, then it would be a really good way to go. Hopefully that's clear. Leave me some comments, and it's quite nice to sort of have a look at something a little bit more long term again.